Red Rock versus Kamehameha, Goku versus Luffy, Super Saiyan versus Gear 5, Dragon Ball versus One Piece. This is an argument that I can only assume has been going on for a long time, but has only become a fairly common thing for me to see since about a year ago when this tweet dropped. And this tweet just blew up. Like, even big Dragon Ball creators, like I think Rhymestyle made a video on it. I think Syriac said something about it on Twitter at the time. The Truth DT said something about it, and that really is what started the constant argument between Dragon Ball fans and One Piece fans on the internet. And while I do think that this entire argument is stupid, I would also like to talk about and break down why exactly I think these arguments spawn out of nowhere every couple of months. Before getting straight into it, I would just like to say that these two series are arguably the most important to me, so there really is no bias for me to have here, and that it would be great if you consider dropping a like and subscribing for the algorithm. Okay, so after thinking for a while about this, I have found out why this happens. And it's something I like to call the superiority complex clash. And we have Dragon Ball and One Piece, two of the most recognizable, popular, profitable IPs in the world. And you take them and you pit them against each other. Now, personally, if a One Piece fan would say to me that Super Saiyan is less iconic than Gear 5, I would just ignore him because I know that it's simply not true. But that's just me. I know it's probably a bunch of other people too, but that's just me. But I think the larger One Piece fan base and the larger Dragon Ball fan bases have such a superiority complex over everything else that they take almost everything as a challenge. Something that I've noticed during my time on Twitter interacting with both the Dragon Ball and One Piece fanbase, mostly the One Piece fanbase for this specific example, but one thing I've noticed is that they don't like being compared to anything that can be considered worse than One Piece. For example, I said, back when I was reading Bleach, and I got to, I think it was some point in the Arrancar arc, I tweeted out, "Enough time has passed," and then I put a picture of Ichigo, a greater than sign, and a picture of Luffy. And besides my friends that I interact with on Twitter give me crap about it, people genuinely do not like me because of that tweet. The funniest thing about it is that I didn't even say anything remotely bad about Luffy. In fact, I still love Luffy. He is literally right behind Ichigo as far as I rank anime main characters. And the bottom line of it is that they don't like being compared to anything that they see as worse than One Piece, which is almost everything. And I get it. I have a favorite series too. I have Soul Eater. I have Yu Yu Hakusho. But the thing is, I like them, so I don't really care what anybody else says about them. But I feel like a lot of these greater fan bases just need to be over everything else sometimes. And that's what really starts a lot of these fights. Because every few months, somebody will say, like, I like Luffy more than Goku, or I think that Red Rock was better than every Kamehameha, or something like that, and then these two fan bases will just start clashing for days on end. And the most recent one being, I say the most recent, this argument has definitely been going on for over a year, but the most recent one being Gear 5 versus Super Saiyan. But before we get to that, before I give my actual thoughts on that, I want to start with Red Rock versus Kamehameha, because I think this is the stupidest thing that these two fan bases have argued about, because Kamehameha absolutely clears. I do think episode 10-15 of One Piece is one of the best anime episodes to ever come out, but the Kamehameha of itself is just such an iconic thing. You have kids on playgrounds to this day doing Kamehamehas with their friends. You have grown adults still trying to do Kamehamehas and nobody's watching them. The Kamehameha is just it's literally an icon. It's like the only thing that comes close to something like the Kamehameha, and by coming close, I mean is just so far behind it, but it's also in second place, is like the Rasengan, maybe. But the Red Rock, which is a move that Luffy has only canonically used once, he used it twice in the anime, but that was just filler fight scenes, isn't even Luffy's most iconic move. It is definitely the Gum Gum Pistol, by the way. It isn't even his most iconic move, and even the Gum Gum Pistol is nowhere close to being anywhere near as iconic as the Kamehameha. So I just want like not put that to rest, because I'm not the decider on how anything gets put to rest, but I do want to put that out there that that's how that works pretty much. And that the only thing that could even remotely ever come close to it is probably the Rasengan, or maybe a Pikachu Thunderbolt or something like that. And that's not a diss to One Piece or any other anime, that's just how influential the Kamehameha is. The next thing I want to talk about is Goku versus Luffy. This is also a debate, and I guess this one is a little bit less, like, I think nuanced is the word that I want to say, maybe, because this is just a preference of characters. I do personally think that Luffy is a better written character than Goku, but that's, of course, just me. According to who's more iconic, it is definitely Goku. People reference Goku all the time in cartoons, even other anime, and not to say that Luffy himself isn't iconic. This isn't like the Red Rock situation where the Red Rock cannot be considered iconic, but Luffy himself is iconic, he's just not Goku. And that's not a diss to Luffy, because it's Goku. And yeah, that's just, that. This is also a stupid argument. I guess it's not as stupid as Red Rock versus Kamehameha, but yeah, almost anybody versus Goku. Like, again, only like Ash Ketchum himself will probably beat out Goku in a iconicism. Is that a word? I think it is. In an iconicism battle. And yeah, Goku versus Luffy is just a moot argument, because at the end of the day, if it's deciding between who's more iconic, then it's just very clearly Goku. And if it's who's the better character, it is very much so opinionated. But to move on to what this video is about, Gear 5 versus Super Saiyan. I think it is very clear that Super Saiyan is like tens of thousands more times iconic than Super Saiyan. Again, you have people trying to go Super Saiyan on the internet. You have kids trying to go Super Saiyan on playgrounds. Super Saiyan just referenced in all sorts of different media, like cartoons, video games, and stuff like that, different manga. It's literally, like, I call Goku the godfather of shonen. I call Vegeta the godfather of all rivals. And if that's true, then I think Super Saiyan is the godfather of all transformations, along with like Sailor Moon and stuff. And while I do think that Gear 5 is a better written transformation, and definitely a transformation that is written specifically for Luffy, as Super Saiyan is made for an entire race of people, I like Super Saiyan a lot more. I think it is a lot cooler. Yeah, I have that maybe just a little bit of nostalgia over it, because I have been watching Dragon Ball and just being involved with Dragon Ball since I was 4 or 5 years old. So maybe that's why I like it more personally, but that doesn't mean that Gear 5 isn't an amazing transformation. Definitely one of the best. One of like top 10, top 5, something like that maybe. And yeah, I think this is also just a stupid argument, because Super Saiyan is just one of the most influential, iconic things in media. So yeah, I think Gear 5 versus Super Saiyan, again, it comes down to, if you're talking about how iconic it is just very clear Super Saiyan, but then you can also take the opinionated argument, and saying that you like Gear 5 more than Super Saiyan is perfectly fine. In order to give Gear 5 a more fair chance in an argument against Dragon Ball, I decided to put it up against Ultra Instinct. And I'm not even talking about Mastered Ultra Instinct, I mean Omen. So the forms from 109, 110, episode 110 of Dragon Ball Super, 114, and then 128, I think those are the episodes. So in order to give it a fair shot, I'm going to put those two together, and I still don't think it's really that close. I think it is very overwhelmingly in Ultra Instinct's favor. Like, if we look at the reveal of Ultra Instinct, it is a anime first form, since the anime and manga for Dragon Ball Super are very much so not really that connected. It's anime first form, and it still got as much hype as it did. The internet shut down. Tons of different websites shut down because of the reveal of Ultra Instinct. And I do think that something similar will happen with Gear 5, but we've had like a year to prepare for this. A whole just metric ton of people actually knew this was coming and have been waiting for it, which maybe that will work in its favor. But for something like Ultra Instinct to be revealed in, like, I think it was like a magazine or some promo or something, and as somebody who is very fortunate to have been there for the reveal of both Ultra Instinct and Gear 5, I have to say that the hype for Ultra Instinct was massively greater than the hype for Gear 5, and I say that the Gear 5 reveal was one of the most craziest times of my life on the internet. I was in school at the time the leaks came out, and from then on I could not go on any facet of the internet. I did eventually, and I got spoiled, but I could not go on any facet of the internet without getting spoiled. That is how crazy it blew up. I went on YouTube. There were already Gear 5 videos out talking about it. I went on Twitter itself, which is where the leaks mainly came from. And Gear 5 was trending for like 2 days before it actually came out. Then after the chapter, it was trending for like a week. So I feel like the anime will have a similar thing going on as when Ultra Instinct came out. But we have the fact that Ultra Instinct wasn't a manga form first. We didn't know this was coming out, and it was still as big as it was. I know immediately after Ultra Instinct came out, Dokkan Battle dropped an Ultra Instinct unit in the game immediately after, and Ultra Instinct was trending for a while after that. And I know that just from like off of YouTube views alone, and I hate using YouTube views for to argue certain things, because people be like, this YouTube video from a year ago got more views than this YouTube video that just came out about 2 different anime, and I'm like, it's stupid, very stupid argument. But even on YouTube, people reacting to Dragon Ball Super now, when they get to the Ultra Instinct episodes, the views just climb and climb. And that's just how much impact Ultra Instinct had on the Dragon Ball and anime community as a whole. So I think that maybe Gear 5 will be equal to Ultra Instinct, but Ultra Instinct pulled off something crazy for it, especially for its time, I say its time, it was only in 2017, but yeah, so I think Ultra Instinct still takes it. Another thing I forgot to mention is that the Ultra Instinct theme became a meme, and is still a meme to this day, and I don't really see Gear 5 doing anything about that. And I'm not talking about just like a low-level meme that sticks around for a while. It is a almost a classic meme in the outer anime community, even getting to people that don't really know what Ultra Instinct would be or is, that know what it is because of this meme. So yeah, I don't really see Gear 5 doing that. And that brings me to the final topic I want to do for this video, which is Gear 5 even iconic? And if we look up the definition of iconic from Oxford Languages, it says relating to or of the nature of an icon, regarded as a representative symbol or as worthy of veneration. And that's not Gear 5. I think Luffy's most iconic transformation is either Gear 2 or Bounce Man. I don't think Snake Man really sees the light of day too much, unfortunately, since that's my favorite of Luffy transformations. But I think that Gear 5 is iconic in terms of Wano. It might be iconic in terms of manga chapters of 2022, but in terms of overall transformations in anime, I don't think it is that iconic yet. Now, will it become iconic? I think the answer here is definitely yes, especially after August 6th when the episode comes out and after the fight ends in the anime. I think it will definitely be one of the most iconic transformations, or at least very close to being one of those. But as of right now, it is only a manga transformation, and it still has insane hype, of course, but I think as of right now, it is not there on that level to be called iconic next to stuff like Super Saiyan, even I want to say like Sailor Moon transformations, obviously, even Super Saiyan Blue, stuff like that. But I do think it will be on its way there soon, because I have a lot of faith that people will really like this transformation and see it as one of the greats, which I really do think it is. But yeah, that is this video. This is just me rambling. This is completely unscripted, so everything here is just off the top of my head. If I forgot to mention anything, or if you disagree with anything, let me know in the comments, respectfully of course, because I will cook you. And thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please consider dropping a like and a subscription, and I'll see you in the next one.
So lead on. Can't handle us. So cool, big scandalous. I'll show you.